So we have apple. Welcome back.
So welcome back. So today we're going to take these apples and we're going to make some delicious apple pie. So it's a family favorite, obviously. I mean, who doesn't love apple pie, right? So before we get started, here's a little joke for you. Why was the apple crying?
Because his feelings hurt.
Because his feelings are hurt. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So without further ado, let's get cooking. To start, we're going to make our pie crust dough. We're going to use the same recipe as always.
Make a mess here.
However, we're going to double it up since we need some for the bottom and for the top. So we're going to take 2.5 cups of flour, dump that into a food processor. Then we're going to add a half a teaspoon of salt and 1 cup of cubed butter, missing nearly all of it. I saw that coming. And put it back into the food processor. Then we're going to food process this all together, realizing that our food processor is a little too small and we should have put the butter down at the bottom. But we're going to take this out and throw it back in with the large chunks being at the bottom, large chunks of butter that is. And then we're going to process this back up. Once we get that to a breadcrumb-like substance, we're going to add a half a cup of water and then we're going to process that until it forms into a dough ball in the food processor. Then we're going to take that guy out, form him into a ball.
Pete, eat the dough off your fingers.
Is that the only reason you want to do this part?
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah. And it's all with butter.
And then wrap them in some plastic wrap and then throw them in the fridge for at least 2 to 4 hours. Next step, we're going to make our pie filling. To start, we're going to put together our new little kitchen gadget, an apple peeler for the KitchenAid. Then we're going to attach this to the mixer incorrectly, at least for the first one, not realizing we didn't push it in far enough.
Wow! Look at it, Mom.
Is that cool? Now, if you don't have one of these, no worries, you can just peel the apples with a peeler and then cut them up and decore them. Once you have those apples decored and peeled,
Apple finger rings.
we're going to chop these down the middle and then throw them into our bowl. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, do some belly drums.
I'm doing the belly drum.
And then continue to add with force 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, half a cup of sugar, and 1/4 cup of flour.
Mix, 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 mix.
Then we're going to mix that on up. We want to toss this, that way we don't bruise the apples and turn them into mush. Once all that is mixed up, we're going to set that to the side. Next up, we're going to take the dough out of the fridge. We're going to cut it in half, and then we're going to roll it out on a floured surface.
It's a dough day, Dad.
Once we get that rolled out, then we're going to roll it back up just to make it easier to put in a pie pan. Then we're going to push all the edges down to ensure that there are no gaps between the pie pan and the crust. Then we're going to push the top to be right at the top of the pie pan. And then we're going to dump the pie filling into the pie pan and make sure it's spread out nice and evenly. Then we're going to roll out the other half of the pie crust.
I like to eat pie dough.
Place it on top of our pie and pinch the top crust and the side crust together to seal those edges. Lastly, we're going to cut 4 slits at the top of the pie and spread them a little bit. This is simply to allow moisture to escape as the pie cooks to prevent soggy bottoms. Next, we're going to throw this guy into the freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes. We want the pie crust to get cold again before we bake it. Then we're going to take it out and throw it directly into the oven at about 375 degrees for 50 to 60 minutes.
Come on, Ethan. There we have our apple pie.
Yeah, there we have our apple pie. So without further ado, let's get taste testing. You want to dive in? Right in the middle. I mean, there's no better place to start, right? How is it?
Good.
He's going to eat the whole thing, huh?
Are you going to share? Yeah.
I need the dough. This is my piece.
Oh, that's your piece? Alright, well, I guess I'll have to eat it with that top, huh? Is that good?
Yeah. That was great. Classic, refreshing, wonderful apple pie.
I agree. Absolutely delicious. That brown sugar really adds a little extra kick to it. Not something you would typically get in apple pie, but it really adds a little extra flavor there. It's absolutely delicious. I don't know. It's good apple pie. So with that being said, if you like this video, hit that like button down below. If you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button, notification bell. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye.